just imagine, like these dictionaries we look at when we are trying to look for meanings in things. And I broke down, I protested, but my mother remained firm. So I read the book and I finished. Then I got book number 2. By the time we were getting to book number 3, I was actually the one demanding for the books. So what happened is it became one of those things that I became very, very passionate about. Then fast forward in 2010, I realized I had sort of gone down in my reading, and I wanted to make sure that I could actually honor that. So I decided, since the year has 52 weeks, I can actually read one book a year, one book a week. So for 52 weeks, I read one book and I finished. And this was not just reading; it was actually reading, understanding, and be able to put it in practice. Now, understand that it was a whole mix of either nonfiction and fiction. So that was in 2010. And then in 2011, I decided, oh, I made it to 52. Why don't we put the number to a slightly higher number? So 52 divided by 2 to get half the year. So it came to 52 plus, I think, so ideally it came to 78 books. So I read my 78 books. Now here's the interesting thing. When I was in campus, 50% of my pocket money went to books. But I got to a point, I fell off the wagon and decided instead of reading, I was more focused on getting the number of books, so that if we are having conversations with people, I'd very quickly say, hey, you know what? I acquired these books. I have 1,000 books in my shelf. But you see, obviously that doesn't add value if I'm not reading the books. So why am I sharing this story? This was a goal for me. Probably my first real goal, where I said, I am going to read 52 books this year. And it doesn't mean that I didn't have other commitments or competing priorities. I ended up doing it, and I still do it. To date, I think the best record I have done is being able to read 130 books, but it was all about intention, all right? So now let's jump into what goals are and what goal setting is. All right, so Grace, allow me to share my screen. I did. It should be good. You can see. Okay. So everyone can see the screen? Okay, great. So, I mean, let's just quickly understand what a goal is. So I shared 2 definitions from Wikipedia and Google. And basically a goal is really an idea of the future, or just a desired result that you want to, a desired dream or result that either an individual or a group of people envision, they plan, and then commit to achieve. Google as well defines it as the object of a person's ambition or effort, or an aim of desired result. If I were to simplify that, it's you have this amazing idea and you want to bring it to life. So how do you go about it? So of course you would need to ideally maybe write about it and then say, how then can I make this idea come to life? So, and then what is goal setting? So we've understood what a goal is, and then goal setting ideally is the action plan. What are we going to do? What are the action steps we are going to put so that we are actually able to make that dream, that dream or that future desired result that we want to make it come to life? Now, we cannot do goals or goal setting without understanding why they are very, very important. So here are a few reasons as to why we set goals. Because we want to be successful. So we want to increase our chance of success, because goal setting is actually about planning. The other thing is that goal setting gives you a roadmap. I want you to imagine you're going on a trip somewhere. You don't just either get into a car or a matatu and then you say, I'm going, without actually knowing what direction it is. So the other thing is, when you set goals, you're able to define your start and your finish. Where am I going to start from? I will start by first deciding what goal I want, and then at what point am I finishing, and what do I need to do in between? Then there's a destination preview. The best way to describe the destination preview is, you know how when you want to build a house, and then you have an architect who actually brings your image of the house to life. So they draw everything, and then after that, they do what is called the 3D kind of impression. So you're actually able to do it. So this is also ideally like a destination preview. Then you have clarity of mind. You know, very clear on what you want to achieve. The other thing is you set goals because you want to propel forward to progress. You want to be able to tell people, I am actually making progress. And then accountability for you as an individual, and as well for people who you have asked to hold you accountable. And remember that success is not a solo activity. You need to involve a whole village to help you be able to walk the journey. And of course, last but not least is a sense of control. Okay, now we have learned why we set goals. Then again, why do people not set goals? The microwave effect. I am sure majority of us actually have a microwave in the house. So the idea of having a microwave is to quickly put in your food or your drink and heat it very fast and then move to the next thing. So if I had a glass of water that was cold, but I wanted to drink it when it was hot, I would have probably two options. Either I would switch on my gas and heat the water, which will probably take anything between 5 to 10 minutes, or I would put it in the microwave that will take 30 to 60 seconds to heat and I can drink my water. Obviously, a lot of us will go for the latter. But the challenge with the microwave effect is we are looking for instant gratification, and then we fail to embrace process, because from process is where we grow. It's where we see the challenges, the obstacles, and we learn through them and become stronger, more resilient, and also get to know how to do things better. The other thing is comfort zone. The comfort zone is very comfortable. Often when we are told we need to change something, we tend to be resistant. We tend to want to find excuses as to why we don't want to make that change. Then there's laziness. We just do not have we just lack the intention to say, I actually would like to make some different goals this year and be able to achieve them. And then there's fear. Now, fear, often we talk about fear of failure, but there's also fear of success. So fear of failure, first and foremost, is about you have this idea, but you probably went and told somebody who doesn't have as much faith in you about this goal that you want to set and achieve. But the person went something like, have you ever had anyone else who has achieved this? I'm sure you can relate. And maybe because it is someone whose opinion you value, you realize if this person has said this, it's possibly not going to work. So out of fear, you abandon your goal. Then there's a fear of success. Yes, there is such a thing as fear of success. You are so overwhelmed by, if this thing actually works out, how is this going to be? So instead of actually making success a way of life, you end up deciding this is too much for me to do, so you don't actually end up setting the goal. Then there's past disappointments. We often say that once bitten, twice shy. So you find that you set a goal the last time, it didn't work out. So now why should you actually go ahead and set it? And then there's the idea of setting wrong and unrealistic goals. So there are two things to this. One, you decide, for example, this year, I am going to treat 100 patients, but you don't have any medical qualification or anything like that. So that is a wrong goal. A wrong goal and an unrealistic goal. Another way to look at it is when you decide that you want to keep up with the Joneses. So you set goals to have a certain status quo or goals that belong to another person and not you. And you didn't even take time to understand why that person was setting those particular goals. So those fall under setting wrong and unrealistic goals. All right, so I've already talked about that. Then let's understand the different types of goals. So often there are about 7 types of goals, and then there are of course other sub goals. So I will talk about the main goals, and then we continue. So career goals. A lot of us here are either working or we're in business. So depending on how you look at it, each one of those is a form of career. Career is your profession. What is your line of work? Examples of career goals, for example, is to get a promotion, maybe get a better salary, move to a different job, maybe a more flexible job that allows you, for example, to work from home, or you want to get, let's see, a specific award or accolade. Then there's the financial goals. And sometimes financial goals also connect to career goals, like when you're saying you'd like better compensation, maybe to be able to have a better life or manage certain needs that you have. So financial goals are about you want to make more money. Maybe it would be about the fact that you're working, you decide to start a side hustle or an extra income generating project, or you want to start spending your money better. And for that reason, you decide, I want to start budgeting. Another way is to save, maybe through what we call a sinking fund, so that if you have emergencies, then you have somewhere to fall back to. The next type of goal is a personal development goal. Personal development goals is about improving yourself as a person. Maybe you want to have a better character. You want to have better integrity. You want to practice more patience and resilience with people. For that reason, you decide what are the things you're going to do, or you want to be able to interact with more people. So you decide one of the goals you're going to take on is you're going to learn a new language. So that maybe if, for example, you decided you are going to France, you can comfortably communicate. That ideally makes you a better person, because first of all, it gives you an opportunity to interact with other people and perhaps also understand their culture and be able to respect it more. Then physical health is two-way. So physical health is about looking after your physical body, but as well the fitness part of it, and also the nutrition part of it. For example, you have been eating in a certain way, and now you have decided this year, I need to start looking after my body well, so I need to start eating more nutritional food, a more balanced diet, and probably smaller portions. Or maybe I want to work towards my weight. I want to do strengthening exercises. Whatever it is, that falls under physical health. Then the next one is a spiritual goal. So spiritual goals really are about your religion, and as such, your relationship with God, depending on, whichever religion that you follow. It could also be about contributing to your community. Then educational goals will often combine with career and personal development goals. Educational goals can be professional or academic. For example, you go ahead and you proceed to do a master's. So master's is an element of it that is academic. You have to do your research, you pick a topic, you go, you defend your thesis, and somewhere along there, you probably become a subject matter expert. But at the same time, this master's also becomes professional in that it probably, because you have gone and you have mastered a certain area of study, it probably acts as an advantage for you. You either get promoted, or every time people are discussing a certain area, you are the go-to person. Then, so another example of an educational goal, for example, would be you want to learn a specific skill, you want to gain a specific certification to facilitate a promotion, something like that. And of course, there's relationship goals, which go across the board, from family, friendships, colleagues, maybe work relationships. Maybe you want to dedicate more time to your family, to your spouse, to your children, to your friends, or maybe to your colleagues, so that you can be able to fulfill a certain project that you're supposed to do. So how do we achieve goals? Okay. The first thing is that you need to know why you are setting that goal. You cannot be setting that goal because another person is setting a goal. You need to actually know your very deep and genuine why. You also have to be able to create boundaries. What are boundaries? Boundaries are the invisible fences we put around ourselves, but as well as well to protect us and to protect other people. A boundary is when you say, I know that there's a party today, but this project needs to be done. So I am setting this boundary of saying I'm going to honor it so that I finish this project, so that again, I don't end up suffering the consequences. The party can always come another time. Then knowing the results that you expect. When you set these goals, what are the results that you want, that you are expecting? The other thing is designing and enlisting your A-team. I'll talk about the A-team in the next slide. Your A-team are the people who are actually going to, what would I call it? They are going to support you through succeeding in your project. Then a few other points I just want to add that are not in the slides is, sometimes you will find yourself having to postpone a certain item because, for example, if you set 10 goals for the year, you obviously can't pursue all those goals at the same time. So what you will end up doing is you pick, for example, the first quarter, let me deal with 2 goals. The second quarter, 3 goals, like that, like that. Then of course, being able to manage your energy efficiently. So the next thing is the A-team. A-team, ideally, if you were to define it, is often used in organizations to define people who help the organization grow because they have these great ideas, they're very brilliant people, and they help drive the organization in the right direction. But if we were to bring A-team definition down to what we are discussing, your A-team are the people who will help you succeed. Your mentors, accountability partners, your family, your partner, your friends, your colleague, your bosses, all those people fall under that. Now, how do we choose an A-team member? It has to be somebody who you respect and value. It has to be somebody who is consistent and non-judgmental, consistent in the way they communicate, consistent in their availability, and they don't judge you when you fail. If anything, they are patient with you. Then they are willing to give two-way feedback. You can give them feedback and they can give you feedback. Then they can give you feedback. Another thing is that the fact the person also has to have time for you so that you can be able to make the improvements, all right? So in order for you to succeed with your goals, let us be very honest, we actually have to be organized. So what being organized is all about is to be able to manage your clutter. There's physical, there's mental, and social. Physical clutter is about the things around you. If you have an untidy workstation, it almost becomes impossible to trace things for work that you need to do. Mental is your thought process. If you have too much going on in your mind, you're unable to focus on the thing that you need to focus on. Then there's a social. Social has to do with the relationships that you have. Sometimes you are interacting with people who are either slowing you down in achieving your goals or actually driving you in the opposite direction. Then there's about managing your time. We all get 24 hours in a day. How do you manage your time? One of the best ways to do that is to have a routine and schedule. Point to note, when we create routines and schedules, we often create them for only specific things. But one of the things you need to do is to factor in, for example, if you're commuting to work, whether you drive, take a matatu, or you walk, that is time right there. You need to factor that in. Your lunch hour, your break time, your self-care time, all those things need to be factored, because if you don't factor them, what happens is you end up eating into the time of another priority. Then identify your energy patterns. We have people who are night owls, and then we have people who are early birds. Who are you at that point? Are you at your peak energy or are you at your low energy? If you're at your peak energy, do the things that bring the most value. Work on your goals like there's nothing else to look forward to. Then establish your priorities. Understand that there will always be competing priorities. In other words, there'll always be shining objects around you, and let go perfectionism because it's a dream killer. Then don't take up assignments without purpose. Some of us run to, who will volunteer to do this? We quickly run, we do. Then by the time we are realizing what is happening, our own priorities are suffering. And then learn to say no without apology. No is actually a complete answer, and it is not a rude answer depending on how you do it. Just maintain politeness and you'd actually find that. In fact, here's the best example. Someone asks, can you please do this? And you can actually say, I wish I could be able to help you, but at the moment I have quite a bit on my plate, and for that reason, I probably can only get back to you in 2 days. Is that okay? Can I get back to you in 2 days? Often you will find that they will find another person to do the job. So, we all know what SMART goals are, but I don't want to talk about the SMART part because we all know what that is. I want to talk about the extended part at the bottom, which is ER. We often set our goals, but we never take time to evaluate. Did we actually succeed in our goals or not? So you need to evaluate your goals every so often. If you have set a 6 months goal to do something, every month you should set some time, maybe 30 to 60 minutes to say, I need to check and see whether I am making progress. You evaluate, see what is working, what's not working, and then you adjust, all right? Now, I'm just about done. How to set your goals. Number one rule of thumb, you must write down your goals. And this is where the difference between a goal and a resolution comes up. Resolution, you make it up in your mind and then you move on. I mean, at the beginning of the year, I want to lose weight. I am going to the gym. I will eat more cabbage instead of meat. You know, I would do all that, but you never actually write it down. So by the time we are on week 3 of January, all that is forgotten. So identify which goals you want to achieve, write them down, and develop an action plan. How are you going to achieve those goals? Then break them down into smaller chunks. If you don't break the goals down into smaller chunks, they easily look impossible. The other part we often miss is we need to identify the challenges. For example, if you're going to school to do your master's, what kind of challenges are you going to experience? You will probably find that your office work and your school work is conflicting and you still need to deliver on both. So what are you going to do? What thing are you going to drop so that you can create more time to be able to do that? So as you identify the challenges, as well identify the solution. Finally, after achievement, there are 3 outcomes that you will experience. Either you smashed the goals out of the park. That means you achieved all your goals. The other thing is the goals remained in the park. You did not attempt any of the goals. And the last one is you haven't achieved the goal because you're probably still working on it. Thank you so much for listening. I just want to quickly talk about this book. So this year I created this wonderful 35-page workbook. So if you're still struggling with your goals or you think there's a friend of yours who would benefit from it, please reach out and I'll be happy to share it with you. And here's the advantage of using this book. It's a digital workbook. Once you get it, all you do is just type right in, and you don't need to print it out or anything like that. You just type right in your goals, and it's a very interactive book. And if you have any challenges, you have a chance to reach me on those contacts. Grace, over to you.
All right. Here I am. Somebody is saying, go back to the goals, the setting goals. I think somebody was taking notes.
Okay.
I don't know whether you will allow us to share the notes or later, maybe.
Yes, I'm happy to do that.
Maybe you can go back on the setting. How do you set a departmental goal? Okay. Before we take the question, somebody is saying, please go back to the goal setting. Maybe you can just share screen.
Okay, you have disabled. So allow me just make me host again, please.
I don't know why my Zoom is behaving like that today. Anyway, just go ahead.
Okay. All right. Let me do that. And
yes, the contacts will be shared shortly. Let her just go back to the screen somebody requested before we start taking the notes.
Okay, which was that? This one?
I think the slide before the book.
The slide before the book. Okay. That one. That would be the one before the book.
Yeah.
Is that it?
We can't see your screen.
Oh wow.
We can't see your screen.
Oh, I didn't.
There you go.
Now. Okay, I don't know what's happening here.
Okay. Anyway, yes. It's okay. I just it's okay. We'll share the notes and you can revert. We are also going to upload the recording so you can follow at your own free time, just in the interest of time. Allow me to mention that this webinar is brought to you by Atarah Solutions in partnership with Balcon Housing and Stallion Construction Company. Balcon Housing is a real estate and property management firm based here in Nairobi. They have pieces of land all over the country, and they will be obvious. They were giving us an offer last year. We are still working on what is on offer for you guys this year. But yes, like Helen has said, set your smarter goals. And part of that is owning land. I can tell you that for a fact. So yeah, somebody was asking, and you guys are welcome to ask questions. Somebody is asking, you need to type in your contacts on the chat, kindly, Helen. But we are going to also share the screen, that last part, as we end the sessions.
Okay.
But put your phone number and the email address on the on the chat. Yeah, so Dennis Massey is asking, how do you set departmental goals?
Okay, thank you. So Dennis, to answer your question, the way to set department goals is first to look at the overall business strategy. Often most businesses will set a 3 to 5 year strategy. So the performance of the department will be based, or the deliverables of the department will be based on that strategy. So you need to look at it and see what portion is for you. Then from there, you break it down and say, if for example, let me talk about, say, the sales team. So the sales team is supposed to improve sales by, say, something like 30%. So how are we going to improve those sales? So we'll probably need to first do something like an audit of seeing what did we do in the last year that actually worked and what did we do that did not work. Then based on that, you're able to come up with ideas. The other thing is something I call benchmarking. Look at your competitors. What are they doing? What are they doing differently that you could add to that? What are the skills that you might probably need to improve or learn so that you can be able to set now the goals for the department? And then you also need to identify what skills does each person have and what does each person need to do, and then quantify. If you do not quantify, then it becomes very difficult. And quantifying also goes hand in hand with saying, how are we going to know that we've actually made progress or we are actually making progress? So you need to put what we sometimes call metrics or key performance indicators to showcase that we are actually making progress in the next 2, 3 months, 4 months, something like that. So I hope I have answered your question.
Okay. Just our audience, if you registered for this webinar, we have your email address. You don't need to share it again. We are going to share the notes with you because you registered and we have your email address. And somebody else is saying, which I think is very important, Steve Amboy is saying, how will goals be achieved if there's resistance to change? And this is in reference to organizations.
Okay, so one of the ways people resist change is because from the time the change was introduced, is either people were not involved in the process. So they were not either involved in the process or they were not helped to understand why this change was being made. So you have to go back to the drawing board first and help people understand why was the change made, what contributions can they each make, and how does this change affect us both positively and negatively? Because with employees, if you're not honest about what is happening in the organization, that's when people slowly either start to feel betrayed or they don't feel involved or heard. So once you've done that, you're actually able to get buy-in from the staff, and then you can then now go ahead and be able to set the goals. Yeah.
Okay, so I think what you're saying is we need to dissect all parts of these goals in terms of even how it affects us positively and negatively.
Yes.
And then deal with the issues as they come.
Yes, that's very important.
Joseph is saying, how can someone balance between goals of learning and that of the organization whereby time is a challenge? Whether this is, sometimes I think time is a big problem when it comes to goals. Is it because we don't balance our 24 hours or what? Because I sometimes want to work out and I can't.
Okay.
Richard, don't stop laughing.
Excuse me. So what I would say is, if you're finding that you're struggling with balancing that, one of the first things that you need to do is a time audit. A time audit is very simple. Take, for example, this 1 week, the next 7 days, and write down every other activity that you're doing at every other time. One of the things you will discover is there are things which are actually eating into your time, and you can either push them off and now be able to create time for the most important thing. Now, excuse me. The other thing is also to be very honest with yourself, looking at your job description. How much can you get done? Is there work that you can either delegate, or is there work that either you have maybe a conversation with your boss where you say, can I push this work to somebody else until a certain time so that I can finish learning? Then now when it comes to learning, don't do the learning on your own. If you can get people on board, like Usually if you're in class, maybe you're doing masters, you find that you're anything between maybe 15 to 20 students. Who are the other people you can interact with to help you manage the workload? Because usually if you all say, I will read topic A, I'll read topic B, I'll read topic C, then we discuss, you'll often find that you can cover so much more within a shorter period of time. But yes, start with a time audit and you'll be surprised how much where your time is going.
I think you have answered even Sir James. Hi, Sir James. If you're looking for suits, please talk to Sir James. Anyway, I think you've also answered this question. He's saying, struggling between getting back to class rather than upgrading my skills and making money to sustain both my family and my education. How should I play balance on the two comfortably?
Okay. So let me answer that from a very interesting perspective. It's important to understand that learning doesn't just happen in a four-walled classroom or in a classroom. Learning happens in different places, and the skills that you probably want to upgrade, maybe you don't necessarily need to go to class. Case in point, we now have a lot of online programs, okay? But of course, if you're doing an online program, I always say you have to be very self-disciplined in order to be able to cater for that. Then I think you also need to ask yourself, what is the bigger picture? If I take up this skill, what is it going to lead to? Is it going to either give me a promotion? Is it going to help me make more money? And the other way around, even though I'm not the finance guru, but is sometimes to also look at where is your money going? Because if you're strained on the money and you're saying, I want to do this skill so that I can make more money, sometimes it may also be good to just do a quick audit on where is your money going? And then what's the new goal? And then what other things can I do? And one other thing is you can also look at your gifting. A lot of us are very gifted in things in different areas, but we never actually convert our gifts into an income generating project. So look at it and also see, is there something I am very good at? And if you're struggling to figure out whether you're good at something, think about your close circle of friends and family. What is that one thing they keep saying? You're very good at this. You should probably pursue this. Yeah. Next question.
Oh yeah, did I mention that Helen, you know, you forgot to introduce yourself. She's actually a coach. She's a career coach.
Sorry, it was in the interest of time. I apologize for that. Yes.
Yes. Helen is a career coach as well. So if you're looking for somebody to walk the journey with you, she's able to do that. I can see a hand up from Cici Cheriot. Cici Cheriot, I allowed you to speak. If you can unmute yourself and ask your question live.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And let me appreciate Helen for this powerful presentation. And Atarah Solutions, thank you so much. You have always, you have never disappointed. The question I have, Helen has talked quite a bit on unrealistic goals and also wrong goals. But I think there is also something there where people tend to settle on very, very extremely soft goals, particularly people who are very fearful of achieving. And so they don't actually push their, can I call it professional muscles? And they just satisfy themselves that I have achieved. I think that's also one of the major, as much as the unrealistic and also the wrong goals. I think also that one, so that every year, you know, people begin settling on very soft goals. I wanted to ask Helen on, as I said, this was a powerful presentation. These are things we have always known, but I think you have come in a different perspective that is very fresh. What is your view of, we've been hearing a lot about the vision board in relationship to the goals. Thank you so much. Let me end there in the interest of time.
Thank you so much, Cheriot. Yes, I like the vision board.
Cheriot, I didn't hear the last part. What is my view on?
The vision boards.
Vision board.
Can you hear us, Helen?
Oh, he asked about the vision board. Oh, okay.
In relationship to the goal.
So here's the thing. Vision boards are very important. Yes, okay, I hear you. So often what I encourage people to do is you set the goals first and then you visualize them. So what happens is the human eye is very attracted to images. If I told you to read a theoretical book and then I gave you another album of your favorite photos, it could be photos of animals, bird watching, houses, you'll probably go for the photographs, yeah? But you see, the vision board is supposed to be like a one-page thing. So in fact, if Atarah will allow me, I just want to show you the vision board on my screen. Let me just do that very quickly. Okay. Can you see it?
Yeah, I think.
Can you see?
Yeah.
Yes, that's my vision board. Okay. That is my vision board with just 6 things. Because again, but I know as, what is it called?
You have removed
but I also know
soon.
that for me, I understand what that is for you. Oh, okay. Let me
return. We were just trying to see the car, the Porsche and the weight.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's all right. Then let me answer the question as you admire the vision board. So to answer Chariot's question, a vision board tends to be much more stronger when you have set goals because you already now have visualized. For example, if you decide that you want to build a house, the goal setting will allow you to say, this house is going to cost 1 million shillings. How am I going to acquire this 1 million shillings? I'm probably going to go to the bank. Which bank? Or I'm going to go to the circle. What kind of interest rate is involved? You see, those are things you can't put in the vision board. However, you can put the house in the vision board because it reminds you of that's the kind of house I want to have. And then the inner details are in the goal setting, in your goal setting document. So I hope that makes sense. So often you need to set your goals first and then now find wonderful, beautiful pictures. And you can set the goal by cutting, you can set a vision board by cutting either photos from a magazine, or you can just go to the internet, pick your photos, put them in a Word document, and then save it as a PDF, and then either put it on your phone. And every time you look at it, you can proudly say, this is my vision board. This is what I'm working towards. So I hope I have answered your question.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, you have. There's a question from Nelson. Nelson, my friend is running a parenting class. I can't remember. Please remind me when the parenting class is taking place. I think Sunday 29th. And they have done a previous parenting class on parenting the boy child. And they have another one coming up on 29th. I'll remember to send you guys because they are doing things to help us and parent ourselves to be able to parent the current generation. But Nelson is asking this, and that's why I've remembered. Our children do not seem to appreciate goal setting, and they want things to happen now and on their own terms. How do we deal with them without appearing controlling?
Okay.
Sorry, the non-parents here. Yes.
Very good question. First and foremost, our children are a reflection of who we are. So our everyday actions are actually going to speak to how our children behave. There is a statement that you have probably said very innocently, and then during a family gathering, your child just blurted it out and you got very embarrassed, okay? So Grace is laughing, so I'm sure she can relate. So what we need to do with our children is do it very progressively. Understand that you're at that point. It's something new that you're starting with a child. Children often learn learn better through practical lessons. So, for example, let's talk about say maybe a money lesson. So you want to help your child understand that they got this lovely toy, they got these good shoes, but mommy and daddy had to work hard for it. So how do you show them how to do it? For example, you can introduce something like certain chores in the house where you say, for every chore that you do well, you will get paid some 20 shillings. And this 20 shillings, we will get you this piggy bank where you can put. Now, every time you want to, you want to use that money, then you can come and explain to us in a valid way, or you want something, then we say, okay, we are not going to buy you this item. Excuse me. We're not going to buy you this item, but we are going to extract the money that you have been saving to use. you will find that your child will probably say, hey, mom, dad, let me rethink it before we use that money, because now it means my tin might be empty and now I have to start working again. So it has to be very, very practical. Use everyday lessons to show them. And sometimes you can even go with them shopping and let them do the math, you know, of what you're buying, and show them this is how expensive this is. So when we bring it home and you don't use it properly, then now you understand how stressful it can be, or why we will not be able to replace this until the next month when mommy and daddy get some money. So it's progressive. It can be financial. You can use it around house chores, and then help the children understand that when they move from A to Z instead of A, B, C, D, they're going to miss a lot of very important lessons, but it's a very slow process. So you have to be very, very patient. And of course, children's level of grasping things is different. So you know your child, take them at that speed. So I hope that answers your question.
Okay, thank you so much for that. I think the mothers here are busy clapping, and the fathers as well. I think you've covered that very well. Allow me to recognize the presence of my mother. Thank you very much, Mami, for joining. She's logged in, and it would be very bad manners if I did not recognize her presence. There's another question I saw. There's somebody who is saying, what is the maximum number of goals? Goals you can have at any given year.
Okay, so I would say this. I talked about 7 categories of goals. So do a maximum of like 2 goals, but if you 2 goals under each category, but even better, do one big one, then break it down into maybe 2, 3 sub goals. Let me give you maybe a perfect example. Like, for example, this year, say I want to learn French. Now it's a foreign language. Some of us grasp languages faster, others don't. How much time do I need to learn that language? If I decide that I will practice every day, maybe within 3 months, I can actually start having some kind of confidence in speaking. But in order for me to get there, what do I need to do? I break that goal into smaller parts. I need to identify where can I either one of the ways that's going to help me learn the French very fast is look for a network of French speakers, maybe within Nairobi. And then the other thing is, am I going to do the French course online, or am I actually going to go to, say, maybe Alliance Française to do it? Okay, what's the kind of money that is involved? What's the kind of time I want to put in there? What are the practices I need? What are the books that I need? So when you think about all those items, then you're able to see that it is not realistic for you to set like 5 goals under one category. And understand that sometimes you may not even set goals under all categories. So prioritize. I talked about prioritizing earlier. So look at the goal that will actually bring you the most value. Value could be in terms of growth. It could be in terms of financial income. So also consider that. Then now you're able to make a decision how many goals you can actually make in a year.
Wow. Hey, you have really mastered these goal setting things, eh? And I am seeing a lot of comments on your vision board, and people are very, very excited. Allow me to also mention that this webinar series is brought to you by Atarah Solutions in partnership with Balcon Housing and Stallion Construction Company. Balcon Housing is a real estate and property management company. If you're looking to buy a piece of land, please get in touch with them. They have been so kind to us. So let's do this together. Somebody saying, this is my first time attendance, and I must confess, I'm very karibu sana to everyone who's joining us today for the first time. I know Bernard, you're there. If you're joining us for the first time, karibu sana. This is season 3. We have a lot of content on our YouTube channel. Get it right with Atarah Solutions. We do this every Tuesday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. And I am looking for a question. And Jacinta has shared our YouTube channel. Hi, Vuyanzi. It's nice to see you as well. I am going to take the last question because I had seen a very good question. But somebody is saying, thank you, Nzula and Helen. Please briefly explain balance scorecard, just briefly.
Oh, wow. That one is a bit... balance scorecard, I know there are 4 factors, but here's the thing. I think I would want to have that conversation with her on the side because it doesn't necessarily connect to the goals. But I know it has an element of customers within the organization. There's the money part of it and all, but I don't think I really want to delve into that, but I'm happy to have a side conversation. So I hope that's okay with you. The one who asked the question, Grace, kindly connect us with that person. And I would like to request Grace. Sabina Njage's hand has been up for a very long time. Do we want to give her a chance?
Let me do that. Yes. I gave her permission to talk. Sabina Njage, you can unmute yourself if you wanted to talk. You can unmute yourself as I look for the last question. So if you're just joining us, we have this recorded. We'll upload it on our YouTube channel, and you'll also receive the presentation. Please remember that Coach Helen is selling her goal-setting book at 300 shillings. Oh yeah, Mercy was asking whether the book is available in hard copy as well.
So at the moment, it is not. But we'll make sure in the next 1 month, the book should be ready, and we will definitely share with everyone to say that it is ready for those who prefer the hard copy version.
Okay. Yeah. So please follow us on Instagram, follow us on YouTube. Yes, James, this is season 3. Yeah, right. So, and on behalf of the viewers, we have a tendency of setting goals. You talked about evaluate. We also try to evaluate, and then we pack the goals and we pack the evaluation. Or when we are not getting there, we kind of give up. Is it okay to re-engineer or reset the goals? If by, for example, you've set goals for the next 3 months and you realize they're not realistic or they are not achievable, like life has happened. You know the way life keeps happening. Like yes. you started something, then something has happened, the other, and all these things. So is it okay to redo the goals?
Absolutely, it is okay. But what we normally say, unless it's, don't change the goal, change the plan. Case in point, COVID hit us unexpectedly. Somebody had just put together their business plan to start maybe their restaurant, to start a consultancy, to start something. And now suddenly they realize now, maybe I don't even have clients because everybody is sitting at home. But the idea is to re-strategize and say, I can still offer this service, but what can I do differently? Probably at the beginning, the consultant had decided I was going to visit every other office, go door to door and go door to door to every office and give my proposal. But now, why don't I try online? Why don't I also maybe offer a few webinars or something for free so that I can get visibility and be able to and be able to sort of sell myself. However, there are goals which let's be very honest, that won't work for different reasons. Maybe you got sick and it requires a lot of energy and you can't do it. So what we normally do with such goals, we postpone them until later. We don't actually say we won't pursue them. Excuse me. But sometimes we find, genuinely speaking, we have lost interest. How do you know you've lost interest in a goal? You start it in January, but in June, you haven't pursued it. Drop the goal. Just drop it because it's obviously taking up time for another goal that would be very important to you. Maybe you hadn't defined your strong why as to why you need to do that goal. So that's how I would approach it, Grace.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think you have answered that. All right. I don't think we have left anyone's question unanswered. So allow me to just say this. My friend Posa runs sessions on Saturdays and Sundays sometimes. Last Saturday, we were talking about cancer. On 30th of January, we are going to be discussing 3 R's in parenting. That is regulating, relating, and reasoning. Regulating, relating, and reasoning when it comes to parenting. This is happening on 30th. If you need to get the link to join, you can actually email me and I'll be able to share that with you. And Jelimo, I know you have asked for that and I'll share with you. I just digressed because I needed to let guys know that, because we are doing intentional parenting now. Frank, I've seen you. Yes, you can send the money and I will be able to get you the book from Helen. So Helen is sharing. Helen, you can share your contact as well. I've seen the people who've come late, they are asking for your contact. Helen is selling a goal-setting book. It's soft copy currently at 300 shillings. And if you don't get to pick the number, you can always email, and I will be able to share with you her contact details, her email address. She's also Helen Wangari on LinkedIn. You can get that. Somebody saying they're listening while cooking. Thank you so much. Thank you. James, I've seen your question. James is asking whether he can get somebody to work with him this journey. Yes, you can. Let's talk more. You have my number. Let's talk more so that we see how we can support you. If you need to, Helen, we can always link you up. All right. So Helen, we are waiting for you to share screen on the...
Yes, I'm about to do that. Just a moment.
And as Helen tries to share, allow me to recognize the presence of our sign language interpreter, Catherine Sidandi. She will be joining us for season 3. See, we are upgrading. Where? And if you'd like to partner with us in terms of support, we have packages for every one of you, and our packages go for a month. So there's a package for 5,000 shillings, 10,000 shillings, and 25,000 shillings. Yes, it is that affordable because all we want is to cover our costs. You know, guys, that Zoom has gone up, The cost for Zoom has gone up. So, and YouTube is not the most comfortable of all. Nelson, I can see you.
Okay, I think it's there.
All right, so you can go to the previous slide so that we can see the book.
Okay.
Right, so Helen has this digital goal setting workbook at Kenya shillings 300. It is a soft copy. Hard copies will be ready in about a month. And if you're looking to set your proper goals this year, you can always get it, and it will help you in terms of going forward. So you can now go to the contacts. So these are this is Helen's contact details, helen@mawaidahub.com. She's also Helen Wangari, Helen Mwangi Dirango on LinkedIn. You can actually get in touch with her there. And then 0701-384-540. And you can get to get more from her. Yes. Somebody is saying she appreciates Catherine, the sign language interpreter. Yes, please get in touch with your people who have been, I know some people who are asking, please bring us a sign language interpreter so that they can be able to benefit from the sessions. So we have had you, and you know, we answer your needs, so to speak. Right, so this is Get It Right with Atarah Solutions. Season 3 officially kicks off. Next week, we are going to look at what are you going to do with your money in 2022. I know money is a topic that we are all interested in. I mean, we are all afraid the elections are coming. We have, is it August or is it December? And we are like, my God, we need to make a lot of money right now because we may not be able to hack those days. Or some of us are saying, my God, I'm going to make a kill this year. What do we do with our money in 2022? And we are hosting a beautiful, beautiful person by the name Rena Hicks. She runs a program called MoneyWise. Anyway, other than that, this is Get It Right with Atarah Solutions. I have seen Jacinta has shared our YouTube channel. You can share it again. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Get It Right with Atarah Solutions. We shall upload this recording there. We are going to also, we will put up the recording there. Catherine Sidandi, our sign language interpreter, we really appreciate you. Thank you for doing this with us. We really are grateful. If you're in Mombasa, Catherine is doing a lot of work with the deaf in Mombasa. And if you wish to support her cause, kindly let me know. So Get It Right with Atarah Solutions, our WhatsApp group. If you wish to join and get more updates on what's coming, get the links on time. For those of you who are not able to get them on emails, there is the link. You can actually click to join even now. We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram as Atarah Solutions. We are on YouTube as Get It Right with Atarah Solutions. Thank you so much for kickstarting the year with us. We are hoping that season 3 will be more lit than we ever have. I mean, haven't you seen how we've started? So thank you so much, Catherine, for making the time to be with us. It is such an honor to have you, and we really appreciate. And thank you for agreeing to walk the journey with us. And we hope to see you another time. And Muyanzi, I am looking forward to actually hosting you again. You guys love Muyanzi, so we shall do that. Thank you so much, guys. And please, if you're looking for a piece of land or you have a plot, developed houses and you're looking for a property manager, we have Balcon Housing for you. You can get in touch with us and we'll be able to link you up. But they are also on Facebook as Balcon Housing Company. Thank you guys, and have yourselves a lovely, lovely, lovely evening. And yeah, enjoy the music as you continue with your business of the day.